Do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this? If they were at all?
Just kind of, get off me, ow, or whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece about whatever. Like, it was, I don't remember specifics, but they were kind of both, they were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember.
So Tybee goes outside.
Yeah, she was outside.
And then what happened?
Then they got up from that, and my brother had stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me at the back and yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly. And then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, backwards, almost in one arm.
Like he was swinging it backwards? He would have done like
he would have swung it backwards at me, not frontwards.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Tyler to get out of that.
Probably not the.
I mean, he played semi-pro when he was young.
Yeah.
But.
All right, Chase, what do you got?
Her level of eye contact here is stunning while she's laughing about the situation. And I think she's probably been using this charm to get things her whole life. Here's why that should be scary to you. We know that adult behavior is shaped by what made the person get what they wanted earlier in life and what behaviors they needed to avoid punishment or consequences as a kid. And she's smiling here because she's used this in the past. But she's unaware that it's an inappropriate emotion to display. So what kind of person would spend a long time mastering facial expressions and making people like them and also be completely unaware which emotions are socially appropriate? I'll let you be the judge. All the behavior you're seeing here might seem off. This is because you're seeing the signals of uncertainty, doubt, hesitation, and inward focus. Those four things are the things that we're seeing that might make you feel a little bit off. Uncertainty, doubt, hesitation, and inwardly focused internal dialogue, so to speak. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, let's run down just a couple of things. And I'm going to pitch this one off to Mark pretty quickly. But this woman's sitting there. Let's look at the teddy bear next to her and look at her now and look at how collapsed she's become. She's shrinking even more. She looks like the puppet next to her. Her arms are about to touch the floor. And somebody I know is going to talk about the grotesque plane, I have a feeling, as soon as we have this finished up. Her animation is gone. She's not talking. And I agree with you, Chase. She's like, oh, what do I say now? And where do I go? She's adapting to release nervous energy, even reaches up to an uncomfortable position to scratch. There's internal voice, as she describes, and she's now changed planes. And what I mean by changing planes, when people are going up here and remembering things, now she goes down to internal voice and emotion and internal voice and emotion. We, as interrogators, know that she's headed into a place that we can push her a little further, and especially using all this disparaging the victim to get her to break, to get her to confess. Her voice tone is different. Her cadence is different. Her blink rate increases, even with that hard eye contact. When she does that, trying to understand the question, she opens her mouth. I see that, I live in a part of the country where we make fun of people who hang with their mouth open when they're paying attention to something very tightly. We call it mouth breathing. I think she's doing a little bit of that as her circuits are heating up pretty hard. Mark, is this grotesque plane, or is it just
this is very definitely grotesque plane. I also think she's got very long limbs as well. Her fingers are incredibly long as well. So she is long-limbed, I would say. But having said that, I rarely see anybody manage to get their hands so low as they're talking that she's actually pulling up on the cushion and adapting on the cushion. Now, what does it mean to be in the grotesque plane? Well, certainly it means that gravity is getting way the better of her. She isn't winning that fight against gravity. It's bringing her shoulders right in. She's concave here. She's minimizing. I mean, it's almost like some kind of chimp there, so she's almost dragging her knuckles on the ground. One last thing on this. she says, what were they yelling? Well, just kind of get off me. And then we see some asymmetry in the mouth, i.e. one side of the mouth does something different than the other side of the mouth. And we see a slight pull-up in the mouth. Now, that could be disdain or contempt. But I don't know why it would be disdain and contempt. What is she disdaining or contemptuous of based on the text of it? So in asymmetry of the mouth, we're left with one other opportunity, really, which is it Jupiter's delight? With her, quite possibly is. Quite possibly she is enjoying the idea of making up a story here. So look, never seen this adaptation on a cushion down this low, and she really has shrunk and heading further towards the ground, losing that fight against gravity. So even with somebody who may well be psychopathic in nature, it doesn't mean that they don't have stresses on them. It doesn't mean that if they're put in a corner, they won't shrink and they won't have elements of fear themselves. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Somebody who doesn't feel much fear and loves to have a great deal of control. But this is one of those moments, even for her, where she's caught in a corner. Scott, what you got on this one?
I agree. She's caught in the corner. That's what's happening there. At the beginning, she's talking about how they were yelling, and she had all these, they were saying this and that. By the time she gets finished talking about it, she doesn't remember what they said. She didn't really connect with what they said, as she explains to the interrogator, who's still doing a great job during this. And then again, like everybody's brought up so far, let's look at her posture. Man, she's so low, her hands are below that seat. You don't see that very often. When someone's sitting there, I think it might be the first time I've seen it on any of the things we've done on this channel. The first time we've seen that, so that's really interesting. Again, we're hearing fading facts, more vocal fry, and way too much laughing when she shouldn't be laughing. Her emotions are not aren't fitting with the situation that's happening there. What's interesting, I thought, and I figured for sure when you guys would find this, her ego was hit on here. Did anybody see where that was? Where something hit her ego? No. Okay, when she talks about him being semi-pro, I think that bothered her. I think that embarrassed her because she grabs her arm, and that's the first big adapter we see on her. That's the biggest one we've seen so far. And I think when she says he was semi-pro, she wanted him to be a pro, and I think that embarrassed her when she said that. Now, that's going way out there, but I think they're so sensitive. The psychopaths are so sensitive. They're so narcissistic. That's something that didn't make her look as good as she could possibly look, and I think it bothered her. Now, keep in mind that when it comes to narcissism and psychopaths, a lot of people ask this question. All psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths. So be sure you keep that in mind. They can get real close to it, and they'll seem just like them. That's why I can't diagnose for sure this is a psychopath, but my goodness, she sure looks like one. Sometimes it takes 6 months to a year to be able to really find out if someone is or not without all the MRI work, with all the brain fMRI work on the head. But that's one thing to keep in mind. So that's what I thought. I thought that it sort of hit her ego there when she had to say he was semi-pro. And that's why we're seeing that adapter on her hand there, on her forearm there. All right. We good?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Excellent. All right, Mark, you had no competition in that whatsoever.
Chase did a lean out towards the trophy cabinet at the back.
Trying to find a charger.
That's how confident he is.
The eyewitness is you.
Do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this? If they were at all?
Just kind of, get off me, ow, or whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece about whatever. It was, I don't remember specifics, but they were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember. Mm-mm.
So Tybee goes outside.
Yeah, she was outside.
And then what happened?
Then they got up from that, and my brother had stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me at the back and yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly. Mm-hmm. And then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, like backwards, almost in one arm.
Like he was swinging, but like swinging it backwards. He would have done like
he would have swung it backwards at me, not frontwards.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Charlie to get out of that.
Probably not the.
I mean, he played semi-pro
Yeah.
when he was young. Yeah. But.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.